Hello, fabulous superstar Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of November 2024. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boy, is this a very special time, and it truly is so special now. Powerful energies are with us right out of the gate. On the first of the month, we are going to have this month's new moon. And this new moon takes place in a worldly part of your sky, having to do with long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, legal matters, along with the personal beliefs that help you to make sense of the world and guide your life. Having a new moon here brings with it new opportunities, and I want you to consider that Saturn is speaking in supreme harmony with this new moon, and Saturn is in your sign. And that means that whatever new options and opportunities are presenting themselves, they have the potential to benefit your life for a long time to come. But they are also seeming to be opportunities that are deeply meaningful to you. You're invested in some way. They feel significant, and they add to that sense of stability in your life in some way, whether professionally or personally. This can be a time when it feels like there's a new chapter that feels that much more secure. And so, if it is that you've been involved in a legal matter, immigration or citizenship matter, this is where big leaps forward towards a fair resolution could happen. If it is that you are involved in an institute of higher learning, you might be feeling a sense of new beginnings in that space. More personally, you might find your own beliefs become more grounded, more mature in some way that fuels a healthy sense of self-respect for you now. But this is also, in real ways, an opportunity to step onto a bigger stage than you knew before, to have what you do seen and recognized by more people than before. That can be part of the excitement and the gift of this moment. The middle of the month is where the energy kicks up in a very big way now. I mean, it is rather remarkable how much the energy kicks up. There's so much happening mid-month that is huge. So I'm going to start with the full moon on the 15th. The full moon is in a part of the sky for you that has to do with communication, conversation, learning. It has to do with networking events. It has to do with synchronicity, being in the right place at the right time. Meeting the right person can make all the difference now in different ways. And it's also about the siblings, cousins, and neighbors in your life. Now, this full moon is hand in hand with Uranus. There is a surprise a minute here, a shock a minute. And just when you think you know, it may just end up being something very different. But this full moon is speaking in harmony with Neptune in your sign, which to me says you're hopeful. There's inspiration here. But we also get Pluto speaking in supreme harmony with this full moon, just 4 days before Pluto changes signs, moving back into the sign just before yours for a nice long stay of 20 years. For the last 2 years, it's been like in and out, right? Pluto's been in a friendship part of the sky and then in this very hidden part of the chart. You've had these moments, but now here we are. This is the final crossing of the threshold. You won't have Pluto back in that friendship part of your sky in your lifetime. And so the fact that this is the last important alignment that Pluto makes before it changes signs just 4 days after the full moon, I think that's really big because it speaks to going out on a high note. It speaks to you understanding that there are blessings and benefits and strong alliances you have with others. And that trine also suggests that as a result of who you know, a friend reconnection that might happen rather spontaneously, you seize the moment towards your larger happiness or success. Your words are so powerful now. You really could ask for just about anything and knock it out of the park. But what you will ask for, I think that is going to come out of nowhere. That opportunity and exactly what it is you think is even worth asking for, it's not going to be what you expect. Chances are it'll feel like a surprise or an inspiration or a sudden knowing. And this is furthered by the fact that But we also have happening hours, literal hours before the full moon. Saturn will go direct in your sign. This is huge. This is a big reality check moment. Uranus is a type of reality that is like a flash of insight where everything is crystal clear in a second. But Saturn is about the cold, hard facts. And for you, it's about what's going to make you happy. What do you really want? What your priorities really are, but also who you are. You're showing yourself some truth at this time. And that is the difference. You will likely feel, under the light of this full moon, that life is moving forward. And that can be really empowering for you at a time like this. It can feel as if your life is moving in a direction of greater steadiness and greater self-respect. And that in turn guides just about anything else going forward from here, including how you use the power of expression with that full moon to ask for what you want. And what you think you want as you start this month may end up being a very different thing at the full moon. On the 7th of the month, Mercury steps into shadow, and on the 25th of the month goes retro. In the middle of next month, we'll go direct, and then at the start of a new year, we'll leave shadow. And this entire Mercury retrograde season will take place at the top of your sky, having to do with career, social standing, life purpose, and your understanding of a higher, more loving vision for your life. And just when you think you know, you really might not. And I think that the great thing about this transit is opportunities you thought were gone could come back around, very much by happenstance, seemingly out of nowhere. Mercury represents communication of all kinds and the modes of communication. So, a message could find you in traditional mail, email, but it's also about modes of transportation. So you being on a subway for the first time in 20 years, running into a boss that you used to have, and they offer you an opportunity right there. That's the kind of Mercury retrograde season we're looking at here. However, I am going to invite you to be a little bit mindful because we have some key connections this Mercury retrograde is making with Jupiter and with Saturn. And that suggests inflated expectations, mixed messages, mixed feelings with the Jupiter, but it's also feeling dissatisfied or feeling like there's some hard truths here that you have to address or practical matters that you have to demonstrate. Maybe you need more experience. That could be one part of it as part of getting the bigger opportunities in your life. But it might also be a sense that what you think it is and what it actually is are two very different things. And you're having to accept that truth and that reality. Regardless, though, bosses, opportunities, or opportunities to be out front, in front of more people, be more visible in some way, to return to an understanding of your purpose and where you've disconnected with it, to reconnect with it in some way. These are all things that can stir for you under the light of this Mercury retrograde season. Now, where it comes to matters of love, Mars will start the month moving through a heart-oriented part of the sky for you. About a week into the month, we'll leave this part of the sky, and then we'll return here in January as part of the larger Mars retrograde season. I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way. I spoke about it in the year ahead horoscope as well over on my website and here on my YouTube channel as well. I've been talking to you about it. I'll continue to talk to you about it. But suffice it to say, you are one of the signs that needs to be mindful that breakups that happen tend to not stay broken up. With Mars retrograde, passions run very high, desire runs very high. And given where Mars is in shadow at the start of the month, well, this could be a desire for passion itself that has you taking chances or taking risks. It might also be the case, especially once the retrograde happens, that lovers from the past find you in some way, come back around in some way. And this is especially true if you find yourself, feeling like things are falling apart at the start of this month. It might not take that long for them to pop up again as we navigate into January. Having said all that, though, it's important to trust what your heart is wanting. Strive to stay honest with you. Do what feels right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. Yeah, you'll be gutsy, you'll be brave, but it's for you, right? So be honest with yourself about that. It's you that's wanting the experience of love now, and you're willing to take chances to get it. And some of those chances will be rewarded. For those of you open to meeting someone new, especially in the first week of the month, you are out and about. You are that much more willing to do things that are genuinely fun for you to do. However, on the 3rd of the month, we have this very important alignment between Mars and Pluto. And it is going to be Mars that is awakened with desire or frustration or a sense of what you had and what you have now and who supported it, who didn't. All of that could stir for you very strongly, but it could also serve as an important turning point moment, finding acceptance of where you are in love, but also open to connecting with others in more passionate ways. For those of you just starting to date someone, here's something I want you to be mindful of at this time, under the light of the full moon, at the start of the month as well. Saying too much. I'm going to be blunt with it. Saying too much. I think that's part of how that full moon might just manifest. Now, it is wonderful to share with someone you're getting to know, to learn more about them, to feel more connected to them. However, there are certain things said and then other things said way too soon that are hard to shake, are hard to not feel like they're just there in the room, like a brick, if you will. Now, what is this going to mean? These are some possible scenarios that could happen for you. And if that's part of your learning, that really is okay. And if this is not someone to navigate forward with, that really is okay as well. But just know that this becomes an important moment to pace yourself at this time, because you're moving in a direction now of finding a new or renewed understanding of what love is for you, what your heart is really wanting. If that could be with this person, then let heart lead the way, but also Saturn in your sign. Allow yourself to be patient, because it's from there that you may be able to move towards something that feels a lot more secure. But that isn't likely to truly take place until we get further on in this Mars retrograde season, like April we're talking about. That's when it may feel as if you know this person that much more, enough to know whether or not you're navigating forward. Now, that doesn't mean, again, if this person does something to annoy you, they say something out of nowhere and it's just not okay with you, it's good to honor that. That's a possibility. But it could also be that they say something that really takes you by surprise, feels like it came out of nowhere, but ends up being very meaningful to you as well. These are some possibilities. For those of you in an established bond, the start of the month is so much about love and what love is for you, and something maybe you want to do that you think is going to be really fun, and maybe you want to do it with your partner and how to make it come together, or to just get them on the same page so that they want to do those fun things with you as well. Might be part of the consideration. But for all that, there's also real opportunities here to get more honest with each other on a heart level. Where do you feel loved and where do you not feel loved? How can you understand each other's hearts more? That's part of the larger journey you're undertaking now with this larger Mars retrograde season. But the start of the month holds a very important moment of realization. And from there, you just might be able to find a new understanding. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say I love the energy of Saturn going direct in your sign. That is a very big deal now. That means something in you is going to feel ready to move forward. It's going to feel like you have some understanding of self, of your truth, of who you really are. You're not kidding yourself. You're not lying to yourself. You know something about you. That in turn changes so many of the choices you make going forward. You've got an eye towards the big picture, and you've got an eye towards what's going to really make you happy. With that clarity, you're that much more likely to get it. Thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with choose your membership rate at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or thefutureismagical.com. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.